Hi, everybody. It's 6 o'clock on Sunday evening. It's kind of warm outside. It was sticky out. I didn't realize. I thought it was supposed to be cooler today. I've been pretty much in the house all day. Hopefully we'll have a few people come in tonight. I have a hard time getting anything to come through on my feed. So let me see. I'm just going to type something. So, hi, everybody. Everyone. I don't know. I can't even type tonight. Okay. Oh, we're having people come in. Just a second. And sometimes after I say something, then all these things pop up. Hello, everybody. Yeah, nothing will come up until I type something. It's just Facebook's weird. Hi, everybody. Let's see. Margaret's here. Deb, Jackie, Judy, Denise. So hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? And Pat. Oh, hi, Pat. Oh, gosh, there's all kinds of people here now. Just a second. Marilyn, Lori, Jody. Hi, Lisa. Let's see. Jackie, Gordon. Whoops, second here. Who else is here? Oh, I can't get anything to scroll for me here. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, Jackie. There's a bunch of Jackies here. Hello. Oh, Lori says hello. Hi, Jody. And Denise. Okay, everybody's hearing me okay. Hi, Clara. Did you have a nice birthday the other day? I've been having fun today. I've been quilting on my Jingle All the Way quilt. Hi, Amanda. Oh, you're almost home. You were driving home, so you have to listen and not watch. You can still log in, though, and listen to me. Yeah, I've been quilting on my Jingle All the Way quilt today, and I got all the inside blocks quilted, so I'm ready to do the border. I have to figure out the new upgrades. Most of you that have luminaires know that the upgrades, I think Jody, you might be the only one. I sent you an email, Jody Morrison. I sent you an email, and the upgrades are actually in. The books are not in, and Tim is doing a special for the book and the upgrade together if you would like both. So you can email me back. You check your email. I sent it to you a couple days ago. Your 76th birthday, Clara. Well, happy birthday, Clara. I think it says 6. I can't see up. It says 6. I'm a little too far from the screen to read the numbers. I have trouble with round numbers. 6s and 8s all look the same to me. Oh, hi, Kim. So yeah, so I've been quilting on that quilt, and the new upgrade in the Luminaire has a feature. I'm going to show you one of the features tonight. I wanted to see it. I haven't had it on my phone yet, but it has an app, which is kind of cool, that you can watch, like if you're out of the room when your machine's running and it needs to tell you that it's needing a change of color or something. That's in there. That's kind of neat. So I thought I'd show it to you a little bit. And then, but there's a new border function in it, so that you can do like 108-inch square borders, like on the edges of your quilts. And then it will split the design so that it will split the design for you, and then you hook it together with the snowman. And it's the border function is what it is. I mean, I've been using the border function, but it sounded very interesting, because it will do the math for you and split all those. So I didn't have to. I knew I could do the borders with this quilt with my border function, but I was going to have to do the math myself to get it to work out right. So this does it for you. Anytime somebody can do math for me, I think that's great. So anyway, so I've been working on that today, and I need to work on a couple of other things. We have Explore Club is coming up in Davenport on Tuesday for those of you in the Davenport area. And then it's Friday, this next Friday, in Iowa City. And so I have to get my stuff ready for that. I know what I'm going to do. I just haven't got it ready yet. So, okay. So what's everybody else been doing today? It's kind of a warm day. It's a good day for staying inside. It's very sticky out. I was hoping we'd get some rain. I don't think we've had one drop, and now I think the sun's coming out. So I think maybe the rain chances have gone past us. Everybody's quiet out there tonight. Are you ready to make some keychains? They're really fun. A second here. People are talking and I can't see them again. Okay. Yeah, oh, now I can see. Yeah, the comments don't scroll very well, so I have to fiddle with it sometimes. Okay. So tonight we're going to do some quilt block keychains. This is some designs that I digitized quite a long time ago, and they turn out really cute. They're very easy, and I'm going to show you one of my other little toys. You don't have to have the little Sizzix or AccuQuilt cutter to cut these out, but it's kind of nice because then they're quite accurate. I'm a very poor rotary cutter, and whoops, second here, people are talking to me. It rained. Oh, you did get some rain in Davenport. Pat said she got some rain. It rained this morning, and now it's humid. Yeah, I don't think we got it. If we did get any rain, it was very little. My dad asked me, and I said I don't think so. If it did, it was very, very little. Rain this morning, and now it's humid. We got 3 inches. Oh my gosh, Jackie. Yeah, I don't think we got 3 drops. Sorry, I'm having a problem with my internet. Oh, okay. Well, you know that happens sometimes, Kim. So. All right, just a second, I have to unpin that. Okay. Okay, so this is the little keychain, and these were really fun to do. I made these when we did Starting Over years ago, and some of you have never seen Starting Over, but these are some of the blocks out of that quilt, and I made them 2 inches square, and I put them on little keychains, and they were really fun to do, and they were just nice little projects. I like to hang stuff like this on my sewing machine bags and things like that, so I know it's mine. You know, it's just something different that no one else has on their bag, and I put them on stuff like that. My purse and my suitcases, stuff like that. I hang things like this. I found these really cute little keychains, and I'll show you how they go on. These are the lobster claw ones, they call them. I thought those were really cute on there. And then I've got some of mine just have the traditional keychain. Just a second here, let me show you these. I've got some of these, these work really well too. These are just the little, whoops, a little lower. These are just the little traditional keychains that you can get. And I usually get these at like Hobby Lobby or Joann's has keychains and stuff. So these turn out really cute. Either one. The little lobster claw ones are cute, so I'm going to put one of those on tonight for you. So let me scroll down again here. Got a few people. Hello. Hello, everybody's giving me a little thumbs up. Can everybody hear me? Awesome. So anyway, these are very fun to do. I made these. There's 13 of these on the CD or on the design pack. And so if some of you want this design pack, it's $10 for all 13 little designs. And they're real easy to do, and they're fun. So, oh, hi, Terry. All right. So we're going to get started. And the first thing you have to do, I printed out my instructions. I made a few notes on here. Of course, you do not have to have one of these cutting machines to cut these out. You can just cut them out with a rotary cutter. You need 2-inch squares. There's several things you need. Just a second, I gotta get a hold of my stuff here. All right, so you need some fabric. I was just using kind of a cream colored fabric, just something kind of not real super printed because of the little quilt blocks. I wanted to show a little bit more. And then this is the stuff, in the instructions I call it the Floriani Stitch and Shape, and it's a single-sided fusible. So this side has the fusible, and you can kind of see it, it's kind of shiny. And then this side is more matte, like this. And Floriani, since I made these, oh, hi, Gail from Fort Madison, cool. But since I made these designs, Floriani stopped making the Stitch and Shape. And so I got it I've been getting it at Joann's. It's called Peltex. Their brand is Peltex. And the Peltex, you can find it in the single-sided fusible. And it's nice because what I do then is I take my piece of fabric, either my when I cut these, I like to fuse the fabric onto the Peltex before I cut them, because then they cut the same size. So it actually works out better. So I've prepared mine to run through my little cutting machine. And I am going to, my little pieces here are 4.5 by 6.5, because my die is a 2-inch die, square die, and it has 6 little 2-inch squares on it. And that 4.5 by 6.5 covers this whole area, so I can cut all of these out at the same time. And that's why I prepared those. So I had the instructions, the preparation instructions for either cutting them themselves or cutting them with the die. And when I do them with the die, I always adhere the fabric to the single-sided fusible, which I have here. I like to adhere it first and then cut it. Sometimes it's hard to do that when you're cutting the 2-inch squares by hand, but you can do it. So like what I do is I'll measure, you know, how big this Peltex is. Only about maybe 15 or possibly 20 inches wide. When you buy it on the bolt at Joann's. And so then I just cut it, and then I cut a 2-inch swatch, and then I adhere it, and then I cut them out like that, because I like to cut it with the fabric on it if possible. Then everything's the same size, so you don't have to worry. Okay, so I've got my Peltex with my fabric on the front. Then you also need backing pieces for the little keychains, and I like to cut those to size 2 for this. Just a second, I'm going to put this down underneath here. So I have my piece of fabric too. So when I run this through the cutting machine, I'm actually going to lay my fabric on top of it. I'm going to lay, here's my Peltex with my fabric adhered, and then my single piece of fabric. I'm just going to put them all through the cutting machine at the same time, because my cutting machine will actually cut about 10 layers. So I'm going to turn this camera around, if you give me a second here, and then I'm going to show you my little machine. Now I switched over from AccuQuilts a few years ago to this little Sizzix machine. This is a Sizzix Big Shot, and this is a real small machine. It's very inexpensive, and it is a 6-inch machine. Now the thing that's nice about Sizzix over AccuQuilt is most of their dies fit in this little bitty machine. And I have 3 machines. I have a big one that's 12 inches wide, so I do have some great big dies. And I also have a 9-inch machine, which is really nice for the medium-sized dies. And then this little one. And I carry this one around with me because it's a lot lighter. It's just smaller and lighter. So I carry this around. This is my carry-around machine. So the other thing that's nice about Sizzix is that I can run anybody's dies through the Sizzix machine. I cannot run anybody's dies except AccuQuilt through the AccuQuilt machines. So that's why I switched over, because then I have a few more options for dies. So this die that I'm using here, right here, is an AccuQuilt die. It's a Go die. So if you have a AccuQuilt Go, you can use this die. It's a 2-inch squares, and it's number, see if I can see it here in just a second. Gotta put my glasses on. It's got round numbers on it. I have trouble with round numbers. Okay, so it's 55022. That's the model number of that die, and it's the 2-inch squares. I don't think I have the 2-inch squares of the Sizzix dies, just because I had this one already. Okay, so this one will run through my little machine, and I have to put this fabric on my die. So I'm going to line this fabric up on my die here. I'm going to stand up so I can reach better. Aim the camera a little closer here. There we go. All right, so I've got my fabric on my die, and then you have to make a sandwich to run this thing through. So there's a little cutting pad. It's a clear cutting pad, and one of them is going to go on the underneath. Then the die goes on. Actually, on this one, sorry, I made a mistake. I've got my cutting pad, this one, these AccuQuilt dies are skinnier than a Sizzix die. So I have to lay a little shim, and what this is a piece of cardboard that comes out of the back of a picture frame. So I use this as a shim, and I'm going to lay it on top of the plastic. So yeah, it's my high-tech shim. Do you like that? So I'm going to lay that on top of the plastic cutting mat, and then I'm going to lay my die on, like that. And I've got my fabric lined up, and you can see where the little thing's going to cut. Sometimes what I do is I take a black Sharpie marker or a silver Sharpie marker and mark where the where it's going to cut, because then it's easier to see. Sometimes it's a little hard. This one was easy. So I'm going to go ahead then and put the second cutting mat over the top. The AccuQuilts are a little different. They only have one mat, and that's why you can only put these skinny dies through them. So I'm going to go ahead and get this kind of lined up here. And all I have to do is feed it through the machine and turn the handle. I'll put my hand on top so it doesn't slide for me. Okay. It came out the other side. And then here's my piece of fabric here. A second here. I'm going to hold the camera back so you can see what I'm doing now. Okay. So here's my little squares. So here's the little backing squares. Remember, I needed a piece of fabric. And every now and then you'll have a little string that just won't cut. So I keep a little pair of scissors handy, and I'm just going to clip that. That came off, and then here's, I have 6 little squares here. And these are the backing pieces. Okay, so we'll set these aside for a second. And then here's my Peltex with my fabric that's adhered to it. So I've got my 6 little squares. So in the instructions, I actually had you prepare 3 of these little pieces like this for the cutting machine, because then you can do, there's actually 13, and that would cut 18 squares. So you'd have enough to do 18 at a time. You could do the whole set then. But that's how I cut these. So see, there's my nice little square, and it has the Peltex on it, and everything's the same size. So I really like that. If you're cutting them by hand, make sure that they're kind of a scant 2 inches. Try to be quite accurate, because if the square is too big, you're going to have a little trouble with it showing on the edges. So that's why I like to cut with one of these, because I'm a very poor rotary cutter. So that's why I bought one of these machines years ago, because I'm not very accurate with the rotary cutter. Okay, so that's my little Sizzix machine, and this was an AccuQuilt die, which can go through that, or if you had like a Go Baby, we used to sell some Go Babies. This would go through that Go Baby as well. Okay, and then this is you can get these right from AccuQuilt. You can see the number there. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Hopefully it focuses for me. Is it going to focus? Probably not. 55022 is a 2-inch die. But anyway, mostly what I buy for dies is I buy, just the ones I think I'm going to use. I have a lot of squares, strips, rectangles. I have half square triangles. I don't buy a lot of the other dies. I have a lot of dies, but most of them are just basic quilting dies that I use all the time. So that's the type of dies that I buy, and I do use this machine quite a lot. The little Sizzix machine, the little white machine that I have here, there's a couple good places online to get them. I actually got this one, believe it or not, on clearance at Walmart in Anamosa for $25. I was shocked when I saw it sitting on the shelf there. But the other place you can get them that's a good price is scrapbook.com has them, and that's a really good place to get them too. So anyway, that's a little Sizzix machine. I do love that little machine. And then somebody asked me the other day if it would work with the scan and cut, and I have never been able to get this stuff to cut on the scan and cut, this Peltex. I think the problem being it is so dense, it just will not cut. So I have not had good luck cutting this with the scan and cut at all. It works great in the die cutting machine though. So okay, all right. So let's move on to second here. I'm going to turn my page of my instructions. And I'm gonna move the camera over. So if you give me just a second, hopefully I don't make anybody sick by moving the camera. So we're gonna move the camera over to the other side of the machine. It works better over here. But you can't see when I'm working on that other table very well. So, all right. So we're gonna get our design up here on the machine. And there are, like I said, there are 13 of these. And I'm going to go to embroidery. And I have a luminaire, so I have to go down to this pocket. Most of you have the little USB stick icon showing. And then here is my USB. And this is my Quilt Block Keychain. So I decided, I named them. And I think what I'm going to do tonight is, I like this one that's a star. It's called Star of the East. So I think I'm going to do that one. It's one down here. And I'm going to click set. These fit in a 4x4 hoop. They're real small. So it's kind of nice because you don't have to use a very big hoop. And then I'm going to hit embroidery to get started. Okay. Now I did put these in square. So if you notice, they actually end up, let me hold this up again. They actually end up being on point. And the whole quilt starting over was actually on point as well. So if you look at the design, I don't know if you can see it, but right up in the top left-hand corner there is where the hole is going to be. And so I have it kind of tipped to the side. So it would be square in the hoop there. Otherwise, it was a little wide, I think, for, well, it wasn't too wide for the 4x4, but I just made them so that they didn't take up as much space in the hoop. Okay, so let's go over here. I've got the 4x4 hoop already installed on my machine, and inside the hoop is some of the Dime light tearaway stabilizer. I think I had it in the instructions for the medium tearaway from Floriani, and that's fine as well. I've kind of switched over to this Dime stabilizer. It pulls away very cleanly, so it works real well for these keychains. Okay. Now the other thing that you're going to need for this is we're going to need a fabric glue stick. And we've got, of course, we got our little backs here. This is the back for the keychain. And our keychain little fob I showed you earlier. And then in a minute, I'm going to show you how to use my I've got a cool little Crop-A-Dile that punches holes. And man, is that good for punching holes through things. So, and if you give me a second, I'm going to move my Sizzix machine out of the way. Because we need to use the Crop-A-Dile in a minute. So we'll let them switch places. Okay. So the first step of this, we hooped our stabilizer, and then we're going to put in the fabric, or I'm sorry, the thread that I want to use around the outside edge. So put that in your needle, because this could show a little bit if it's a different color than your satin stitches. So I usually try to put a matching thread in here for the there's going to be like a placement stitch go first, okay? And then I have bobbin thread in the bobbin. We will be changing to embroidery thread in the bobbin towards the end, okay? So let's get this a little closer so you can see it. So, oh, we got all kinds of people here tonight. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me. It's a nice evening for staying in. It's kind of humid and icky out. Okay, so here we go. We're going to do step number 1, and that is the placement line for the little square. Hopefully my directions don't get whacked by that little hoop. I think it'll be okay. Oh, we got more people coming in. Hi, everybody. Okay. So this is the placement line for the square. So the square I'm going to put in first is the one that I have the Peltex on. I want that one to be on the top. And what works the best for me to do this is to glue stick this down. So I'm going to have to pull my hoop out just a little bit. Second here. I'm going to put my glue stick in here. Oops, don't need quite that much, Jan. Get rid of that glob. All right, But you do want to put it on there, and it doesn't gum your needle. I haven't ever had any trouble with this. I've been using it for years. And you want to be very careful to get this lined up so it is fitting inside your stitching line. Now, when I do these, the first thing it's going to do is go around the outside edge again. And I usually kind of hold this in place until I'm sure it's attached well to my stabilizers. So I'm going to go ahead and put my foot down, and we're going to do step number 2. And the first thing it does is just an outline, and then it's going to do a satin stitch. So we'll let it do its outline. It's going to kind of go along the edge just a little bit. You gotta watch your fingers. There we go. And then it's going to do a satin stitch to hold it down. So I added some extra underlay for that to hold it down so that it wouldn't move around, because it's kind of thick and it's a little on the stiff side. Hi, everybody. Yeah, and these little designs were so much fun. I made tons of these. I actually made 14. The people in the starting over class, it's been quite a long time ago now, got one keychain that was just for them, and then I made 13 more because I just couldn't stop making them. They were so much fun. So I just kept going. Now I have 14 of these. Yes, Marcia, it started at 6, but you didn't miss much. So we're just getting started with the sewing. You can go back and watch the rest of it later. Okay, so I got a couple little hairs over here. Whoops, I'm going to have things on the floor. I'm going to trim a little bit. Sometimes my fabric likes to fray just a little on the edge. So let's get that out of the way. Keep it clean. And you can see, if I put this up, I think you'll be able to see a little bit better. I want to keep this edge real clean, because that way I know it's going to sew out well and cover well at the end. Okay. And again, if you are cutting these by hand, go ahead and be careful and be kind of a scant 2 inches so that it isn't over a 2-inch square, because otherwise it may not cover very well. Okay, I'm on the top. I'm on page 4 now, and it says stitch the block, fill or fills. So I'm at that point with the choice of color you want and the bobbin thread and the bobbin. Some of the blocks have more colors than others. This particular one only has one color. And on this one, I made the outside edge brown, but I wanted to do a purple star in the center. So just a second. Ooh, my thread's all weird. Pull it off here. Decided it was going to jump off the spool, I guess. All right. Put this in the machine. So we're going to do a purple star. I was trying to make up some of the ones that I didn't have made. I had a bunch of them made, but not all of them. So this is one of the ones I didn't have. Okay, so this is going to be our star. Oh, somebody else said something. Did you get your embroidery unit fixed? Yes. Yes, well, actually, this is Judy's embroidery unit. They're working on it. Yes, Jackie. Well, sort of. It's not. This is Judy's embroidery unit. She's gone on vacation, so she let me use her embroidery unit. So yeah, so this is going to be the little fill, and it's a cool little star in here. And so let's see how this works. So, give me a second. Monitoring. Let's see. I'm trying to figure out this new app that Brother has for the. Here we go. Look. Okay. So the Luminaire has this new app. Look here. Look here. So this is on my phone, and it tells me that I'm on the 232 Forest Pine Green, which I'm doing it in purple. But it tells me there's 3 minutes to sew that design. That's cool. So see if I was in the other room, and then see how it says it's sewing up here. Isn't that cool? And it says it's, but this is what the app does. It allows you to take your phone or your let's say I need to go into the other room and I want to monitor my machine. It's like a baby monitor for your sewing machine. So see, I think it's kind of neat. I hadn't had a chance to try it yet. I just put this on last night, so this upgrade. So we're on the third one. Does anybody have any questions so far? Is this making sense to everybody? These are really fun to make. I made a couple the other day. I hadn't made any for a long time, so I figured I'd better sit down and like make one before I showed you on the camera, huh? Yeah, this is cool. So see, now it still says I'm on the green. This is kind of cool. Oh, and then see, then I can go to this other screen down here where it says task list, and then it gives me the colors there. So it says it's embroidering. I'm 3 of 6 minutes, and then here it shows the actual picture of what the design is. And this is all coming from my machine because they're attached to the same router. Isn't that neat? Oh, got a couple comments up in here. Oh, Jackie's sewing along. Yes, Baby Lock and Brother. The only machine that's going to have this right now, Tammy, is the Baby Lock Solaris, which is the big new home machine, and the Brother Luminaire, because I don't think any of the other machines have it yet. So this is something new. Thread the machine with the next color, it's telling me. Okay. So it's time to thread it again. That's nice. Okay, so the next step is actually going to be the little outline around the purple. So let's put the camera down a little lower again. Yes, so the Solaris and the Luminaire have this, and this is in this new upgrade that just came out while they came in on Friday. So, and I want my outline to be the same color as my outline of my keychain, so I'm going to put the brown back in. And then there's a new machine coming out that is also has an app, but the app allows you, it doesn't have a camera in it. It looks similar to the Dream Machine, but it does not have a scanning camera in it. So you have to use the app to take pictures of your hoop and then send them to the machine for placement. So that's the new machine, and it's called the Stellaire. It has not come in yet, but it was shipped, so I would anticipate it being in the next couple of days. So I'm kind of anxious to see it because it looks like it might be kind of fun to play with the app. Okay, so now we're going to do the outline. This was a triple stitch, I believe, that I did here along the outside edge of my star in the center. These turn out really well. They're fun to make for gifts. I like to hang them on my bags and stuff, and I thought I might make some for gifts this year. I just love to have something on my sewing machine bag that is different than everybody else's sewing machine bag. It's easier to find then. Sort of like your suitcases when they come through the airport turnstiles, and you can see the airport, the luggage thing. Then you can see your suitcase faster if there's something unusual on it. Oh, hi, Maria. Okay, so there's our little outline. I don't know if I get a little closer, you might be able to see it. See, wait till it stops moving, and I think you can see it. So it's all just a little triple stitch along the outside edge. It's all outlined now. And now my phone is giving me a monitor that says the thread change again. So now it dings. It sends a notification and dings my phone. So that's a good thing, because if you're in the other room or something, that might come in handy. So like I said, like a sewing machine baby monitor, right? I know people that have baby monitors for their machines. It works really well. All right, so then we've got this all sewn out. That's our little block. The next step, and I'm going to turn my page here. The next step is, I noticed on page 5, at the top of page 5, I made a spelling mistake. So I put a big oops on my instructions. So sorry guys. Number 5 should say attach the backing fabric, not the baking fabric. Sorry guys. To the underside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this over and take my hoop out. I'm going to turn it over. So we need to put our backing on. And the other thing I do is I like to trim up all these little threads so that there's not a bunch of threads, because sometimes my backing fabric is not very dark and then you can see the threads through it. So I'm going to trim up some of these threads so that they're not all sticking up here. All right, oops. I got some of that purple, so let's get some of that purple out of there because it might show a little bit. Because you know the machine has to do some tying, so there's always a knot here and there. That looks a little bit better. Oops, there's one over here. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my backing, which was also cut at the 2 inches. And I want the right side up, up. It's going to be showing. And this is the back of the hoop, and I'm going to kind of test fit it to make sure it looks good. And then I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my glue stick, and I'm going to place the glue stick inside there. And I'm going to place my backing fabric on and line it up. Make sure it's very well lined up. You want to be very vigilant about this part. Make sure it's good and straight. Stick it down with your finger, and then what I usually do, sure it's good and straight, there we go. I'm going to flip it over and then carefully press down on it like this to make sure that it doesn't move. Okay, and now at this point, since we're putting a back on this, this is the time where I want to change my bobbin. So I want to take my bobbin thread out, and I'm going to put my matching embroidery thread in the bobbin. Okay, so this is my brown. I just wound it on a regular bobbin. And this way it's the same on both sides. Often when I'm doing quilt blocks, this is the same way. As soon as I put the back on, that's when you want matching thread if you want your back to be pretty like the front. Okay, so now we're going to carefully put this back in the machine again. Remember, we got a little back on there, and I am going to slip. I'm going to kind of check underneath to make sure that that little piece of fabric didn't slip on me, and it looks like it's fine. And then the final step is going to be our satin stitch outline around the outside edge, and there's going to be a little eyelet that's going to sew in this corner right here. Except, oops, I think maybe my thread came unthreaded. Let's try that again. Need to back up a little bit. There we go. I think I came unthreaded. Rethread the machine here. I'm always taking my thread out with the hoops. There we go. I was doing that a lot today. I was quilting on that quilt, and every time I was taking the quilt in and out, I was unthreading the machine. So I think I threaded it 1,000,000 times today. Okay, so let's try that again. I backed up, so I'm starting back again at the beginning of this color. Yeah, this little monitoring app is kind of cool. Going to do a satin stitch around the outside. It did like another tacking stitch too. I do, when I digitize these, I like to put some underlay. They call it underlay, so that it covers up all the raw edge as well. Oh, you have purple and gold, Jackie? Are you doing a UNI keychain? Which one did you do? I think you took starting over, didn't you? Did you have the starting over keychain that I made for everybody? It would have been in with your quilt probably. Okay, so it's going to go around the outside edge. Yeah, that little monitoring app is kind of cool. Something new and fun to play with. Oh, Vikings. Okay. Yep. So for some of you who came in late, if you didn't hear, if you would like these designs, just personal message me, and they're $10, and you get 13 little keychains. So I know some of you came in late, and you may not have heard of that. So you still use yours? You know what? I do too, because I have one of my original ones I made, and I just keep it on a bag. I have a bag that I always have it on. So I made everybody a keychain and then gave them the design at the end of the class. And boy, you know what? I did that class like, was it 8 or 9 years? I think it's close to 9 years ago that we did starting over. Couldn't believe it's been that long ago. Okay, so I just did the little eyelet. And I think it's all done. These don't take very long. They take somewhere between about 5 and 10 minutes to stitch. It depends on how many colors. I was going to do another one that had more colors in it, but I thought that might be too long to sew out. So this would be more fun and it'd be faster. So okay, so now we're all done. Now if you notice that I cut a piece of stabilizer, it's 9 by 12 this way. This is 12. And when I have a 4x4 hoop, I like to be very frugal with my stabilizer, so I can actually get 2 hoopings out of this. So I hooped with the, the rest of the stabilizers over here, and then I'm going to unhoop this, and then the next time I'll be able to hoop this other side with the same piece. So I like to conserve my stabilizer. Yeah, 2011, 2012. Marcia knew exactly when it was. So yeah, so it's been almost 10 years ago. Okay, so then I'm going to take this off, so I'm going to be careful so I can conserve my other half of my stabilizer here. And this is just going to pop right out of the hoop because it's tearaway. This little keychain is just going to pop right out. Now this stabilizer, this new dime stabilizer, I really like it because it's very, very, it cuts away, or it trims away very, very smoothly. So, and then what I do is I kind of take my finger along the edge and just get rid of any little frizzies that I might have. Sometimes I'll have a frizzy here or there, or something, the little piece of the paper showing. So I just take my finger and just kind of smooth it off. And then we got a couple little tails here, so we'll trim those off. Back here, don't trim them too close though, because they might come off. All right, so there's our little keychain. But we have to get a hole in here so that we can put the little fob through there. And I'm going to show you another little fun tool that I love. I punch a lot of holes in things, and I used to use a leather punch. And in the instructions here, it shows, pulling it out of the hoop. And then, in fact, I'm seeing my picture here. I was using my little 900D in this particular, when I was doing these instructions. That's my old hoop and my little 900D. So that tells you how long ago it was. And the next step shows a leather punch. Well, I've always used a leather punch, and you have to squeeze it. And I'm having trouble with squeezing through things like that. Sometimes they don't punch very well. So I found this new little tool. And if you give me a second, I'm going to move the camera back to the other side of the table again so you can see better. If I can get it to come up off. Okay, let's move this over again. So I hope I'm not making anybody sick. But it's easier to see if you're on this side of the... I can't sew with it over here because then I don't have enough room. So okay. So this is my Crop-A-Dile. Now what this is actually a scrapbooking tool. And I bought it at Hobby Lobby. It's back in the scrapbooking department. You can set eyelets and things like that with it. So it comes with like little eyelets, and you can buy some. But it also punches holes. So down here, can you see these 2 little holes right here? So there's 2 sizes, and you change it with this little dial on the top. Now I want the little tiny hole. This is the bigger one here, and then there's a tinier one. I think it's an 1/8 inch. Yeah, 1/8 inch hole right here. So we're going to use the little one tonight. So we're going to be punching with this front hole on it. And what's nice about this, see, I can press down on it. Has little feet that you put on. I have a little case. I'll show you the little case too. I have a little case that I put it in, and I can keep my eyelets and stuff in it, but you can see the little thing coming down to punch. Okay? So second here, I'm going to put my glasses on so I can see better. And we're going to line this little hole right here, where inside of that little eyelet that it made, we're going to line that up on that small hole, that small punch area. And I'm going to line it up, just take my time to do that, and then I'm just going to press down. And it presses right through there. Look at that nice hole now. So much easier than the leather punch was. I used a leather punch for years, but I'm having trouble squeezing it now. So let's trim. There's a little fabric in there. I'm just going to trim it out so it's not fuzzy. That's the back. Oops, sorry, can't see it. That's the back. Here's the front. Okay. So the Crop-A-Dile, it seems like the Crop-A-Dile was about, I think it's around 40 bucks. But if you have a 40% off coupon, you can go in and get it then. And it's way back in the scrapbooking department at Hobby Lobby. And then I was going to show you the box. I had to get this from another place, but I like this little box. I'll lay this down here. I have this little box that I put it in. Then it keeps everything together. And here's the instructions. I taped them to the top of the lid. And then there's all these little eyelets and everything that came with it that I put in the little bin there. So it has all that stuff in there. You just have to take the little feet off. But it works really great for this kind of stuff. And I do seem like I punch a lot of holes. Judy was doing a bunch of little Kimberbell, those little quilted fabric bowls. And they have all the little holes, you know, all the way around that you tie little ribbons on. And she brought hers out, and we punched them all with this little Crop-A-Dile because it was so much easier. Okay, so let's pull this back a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. And there's our little keychain. It's all done, except that I need to put a little keychain on it. So these, I got these at Hobby Lobby too, and they were called Jewelry Shop. And there, you got 2 of them for $2.99, but I got them on sale for half price. So if you watch, about every other week, they have these Jewelry Shop things on sale. And it was called a Lobster, I don't know if you can read this or not, Lobster Clasp Keychain. And there was 2 of them. I just thought those were real cute. And they had gold and silver, and I think there might have been maybe kind of a coppery colored one. But these are real easy to put in. So they got a little ring, split ring in them. And I'm just going to put this over the hole like this, and there's my keychain. I just thought those turned out really cute. I like those new keychains. I have used the other ones for a long time, but these are really nice, and they're not quite as long. So the old style ones, let me get one of those out. I've got one over here. Not sure where I put it. I've got some of the other ones that I have made with the other keychains, and those work fine too, but I kind of like these new ones. They're a little more expensive though. You have to make a bunch of them. These are a lot less expensive, these little keychains. And then the one thing you have to do is the little ring down here, that little split ring, is a little bit too small, the one that comes on the keychain, so I had to get some bigger ones to put them on with, because otherwise it wouldn't go over this little corner here. Okay, so that's what I did with these. I just bought some little D rings or whatever they call them, split rings, little bigger ones than the ones I had, and put them on with that. But that's the standard one, you know, it just kind of opens up like this. And then you can put it on your bag or whatever. So whichever keychain works for you. These are quite a little bit cheaper, so if you have to make a bunch of them for like gifts or like a craft show or something, these probably would be a better, you know, more economical way. But these are awfully cute keychains, so I really like these. Okay, so there's our little keychain. Aren't those easy? They're fun to make. They take a few minutes to do. Now the other thing I thought about doing is trying, since I made this design, I also have done stuff like this now with the water soluble, like the Wet n Gone or the Wet n Gone type stabilizer, which is, you know, water soluble. And then you can just kind of take your finger and dip it in water and paint the edges off. Now that also might work for this, but the tearaway does make them a bit stiffer also. You know, that Peltex is pretty stiff, but with the stabilizer in there, it made it even a little stiffer when you're using them for keychains. So I'm going to try one with the other stabilizers just to see how it works. But I've always used tearaway on these, and they look real nice with that. So, okay. So, anybody have any questions? Isn't that a cute little keychain? These are fun to do. I've made lots of them. We used to take them to the craft show all the time. I think Judy made the last batch. This little batch I have done, I think she made most of these. Anybody with any questions then? Everybody gonna go home and make some go home and make some keychains now? They're nice gifts. I like to make things for my friends, and I have a lot of quilter friends, so this is a good way to do it. Everybody's very quiet. Oh, I have a little heart that this went up. Cool. Okay, so next week is what, the 18th? Does that sound right? Yeah, the 18th. We will be talking about the digital dual feed foot for the sewing machines and or the walking foot. So it depends on which machine you have, which type of foot you have. Like the Luminaires, the Dream Machines, the 5100, 6200Ds, those machines all have the digital dual feed. Can we get the number of the Peltex? You know, Marcia, I will have to go look it up, and then I will text you later, because I don't know what the number is. I haven't bought it for a long time, and I just know what I'm looking for. So I'll go look it up on the website, like the Joann's website, and then I'll post it later. Oh, what is the fabric, Tammy? The fabric that I used, it was just cotton fabric. I just used I had a fat quarter, and it's just some cotton fabric, 100% cotton fabric. And that's what the back was too, same fabric. Yep, that's what that is. But yes, Marcia, I will tell you what the number of the Peltex is. I'll post it. How about I post it up on the group so everybody will know? Okay. And so anyway, next week we'll do the walking foot and the digital dual feed. And then for the sewing or the embroidery part will be it'll be applique part 2. It'll be like applique 10 or 201. But it's going to be cutting with the scan and cut. So we'll cut out the applique pieces with the scan and cut, and then we will embroider using an E-stitch style embroidery. So it's going to be different, and then I will have a design for everybody. We will also be doing that same class this week in the stores. So on Tuesday in Davenport, so I hope you can come and see me then. I always look forward to seeing everybody. Denise, I don't know what soft and stable is. I would venture to guess it's not heavy enough. Peltex is very thick and very stiff. And I don't think soft and stable is that. I don't know what it is. I would have to see it. This is very hard. And for a keychain, I want it to be pretty stiff. So it might. I just don't know what it is. I've never used that. But then, so Tuesday at 4:30 in the Davenport store, we'll be doing Explore Club. And then Friday in Iowa City at 3 o'clock, we'll be doing Explore Club. Okay? So if anybody needs the designs, you know, if you saw this and you didn't get the designs before, let me know, and I will, you can personal message me and I'll send you an invoice. So, okay? And otherwise, I look forward to seeing you this week. I'll turn the camera around and say goodbye to you. Got done in about an hour. I figured we'd done about an hour today because the little keychains don't take too long. Okay, so I look forward to seeing you all at Explore Club this week and in Davenport. So you Davenport gals, come see me on Tuesday. And then next week we'll do the Explore Club basically online. So those of you who couldn't come will get to see it as well. And then we'll have a video of it. So, okay, so we'll see you next week. And everybody have a nice end to their weekend. My weekend is sort of half over, so I have to go see my dad tomorrow. So I have to go have my car serviced. Yay. That's how exciting is that? So anyway, okay, so I'll look up the Peltex number for you, and I'll also look up the soft and stable, Denise. I just don't know what it is. So, okay, good night, everybody. Thank you for coming. Have a good evening.